Welcome to Dark Money File, where we uncover the secrets behind billion-dollar lies. In 2018, a CEO walked into his office like it was a normal day. He shook hands. He smiled. He promised investors their money was safe. Then he vanished. No goodbye, no resignation letter, no farewell email, just gone. And by the time anyone realized what happened, $200 million had disappeared with him.
Leaving apparently $250 million in cryptocurrency locked on his personal laptop.
But here's the part that still doesn't make sense. This CEO didn't look like a scammer. He looked like the safest man in the room. So how does someone steal $200 million and simply walk away?
Really a story about betrayal and lying and greed.
This isn't a story about one stupid mistake. It's a story about how smart people get trapped. Because scams like this don't start with a lie. They start with something that's almost true. A business, a track record, a trusted CEO. And once the money starts flowing, it becomes almost impossible to believe it's fake. Especially when the people losing money aren't random victims. They're accountants, lawyers, bankers, even entire companies. So if you're thinking, I would never fall for this, that's exactly what they thought too. Now let me ask you something. If someone offered you an investment that looked boring, safe, and professional, and your bank manager told you it was legit, how long would it take before you trusted them with everything? Because for this CEO's investors, it only took one signature. Welcome to Dark Money Files. This is Case 1, the CEO who vanished with $200 million. Our story begins with a man we'll call Daniel Cross. Not his real name, but the moves he made are real. Daniel wasn't flashy. He didn't drive supercars. He didn't wear diamonds. He wore normal suits and spoke calmly. He used words like risk management, compliance, and liquidity. And for investors, that was the point. Daniel didn't sell dreams, he sold certainty. And certainty makes people comfortable. Daniel's company wasn't marketed like a scam. No loud ads, no influencers, no flashy promises. Instead, he built trust the old-fashioned way. He showed up at conferences. He hosted private dinners. He printed thick investor packs filled with graphs and projections. And his pitch was simple. I don't chase big returns, I protect money. That sentence alone made people relax, because greed sounds risky, but protection feels responsible. At first, investors entered with small amounts, $50,000, $100,000. Then after a few months, the returns arrived. Not huge, just steady, which made it believable. It didn't look like Daniel was winning. It looked like he was stable, and stability is addictive. Then came the first red flag. It wasn't dramatic. There was no police raid, no chaos. It was just a delayed payment. An investor requested a withdrawal. Daniel responded instantly. Of course, no problem. But then he added something else. There's a small liquidity delay. Banks are slow right now. And the investor accepted it because it sounded reasonable. But scams don't collapse when people invest. They collapse when people withdraw.
The idea that, okay, so your transaction might be delayed, your withdrawal might be delayed, is not that unusual.
Daniel didn't fear deposits. He feared exits.
So then the sort of panic about withdrawals escalates.
They put in limits, $50,000 per month. People were trying to get their money out, but they couldn't.
At this stage, Daniel's company became a machine. Every new investor became proof for the next investor. He would say, here's our client list. These are serious professionals. And because serious people were already inside, new investors assumed it was safe. That's how social proof becomes a trap. Soon the money grew to levels nobody expected. Millions, tens of millions. Then one day, someone inside the company revealed a number. Daniel was managing over $200 million. And Daniel wasn't nervous. He was calm, almost like he knew something no one else knew. But here's where the story turns. A junior employee started looking deeper into the paperwork. At first, it didn't look like fraud. It looked worse, because the returns were too perfect, always smooth, no volatility, no bad months. That's not investing. That's magic. And in finance, magic usually means one thing. It's fake. The employee flagged it privately. Daniel smiled. Thanks. Let's talk tomorrow. Tomorrow never came, because that night Daniel booked a flight, one way. The next morning, Daniel's office was open, but something felt wrong. His assistant arrived first. Daniel wasn't there. No calls, no texts. Then the finance department checked the accounts. Withdrawals, transfers, payments to entities nobody recognized. One after another, like a tap left running. By lunchtime, the phones were blowing up. Investors calling, partners calling, banks calling.
This is a real mystery that's unfolding this morning.
Right now, investors, they can do nothing.
But the CEO, the man who promised protection, was unreachable. And by the end of the day, everyone saw the truth. Daniel didn't lose the money, Daniel took it. Investigators traced what happened next. Daniel didn't run like a desperate man. He moved like someone who planned this for years. Flights booked through intermediaries, phones discarded, money routed through layers and layers of accounts. And when authorities searched his home, it looked staged. No family photos, no meaningful items. Almost like he never lived there, because maybe he didn't. Maybe Daniel Cross wasn't a person. Maybe he was a role, a mask designed to do one job: collect trust, convert trust into money, then disappear. Here's the scariest part. Daniel didn't steal $200 million in one moment. He stole it slowly, over time, by building something that looked like investing, but was actually a funnel. And once enough money was inside, the exit door opened. That's why scams like this are terrifying. Not because the scammer is smart, but because the system is built on one weakness. People trust confidence, not proof. So what should you learn from this story? It's not don't invest, it's this. If someone promises stability with no pain, if the numbers look too smooth, if withdrawals suddenly become delayed, you are not looking at an investment. You are looking at a countdown. Because real businesses can survive questions, but scams can't. They survive silence. And Daniel Cross, he was never found. Not officially, not publicly. Rumors came in waves, a sighting in Dubai, a passport under another name, a new life, but nothing confirmed, which means one thing. Somewhere out there, the CEO who stole $200 million may still be walking free. And the next case file is even worse, because next time, the CEO didn't just steal money, he stole a whole company. Welcome to Dark Money Files. And in the end, the money was gone, the trust was destroyed. This was Dark Money Files. And the next case is even worse.